Like I go online and I have a lot of people I talk to about COVID, but not out here because people just don't want. They don't want to know. They don't want to think. Yeah, exactly. And when they say that, I say no. I'm just like I tell it like I just know that not everyone's telling us the truth. Like that's just not possible. Why would they? Like it's crazy.
Yeah, trust the fucking government.
There's a have you seen the YouTube like all these rich families, you know, the 7 families or whatever, they live like in this past Antarctica. There's all these other continents and we're just like a farm. Like a game for them.
Give me a clue of how I could find this.
Look up ice shelf Antarctica.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, before I ask you any questions, just tell me what you feel comfortable talking about.
I don't want to talk about drug addiction.
All right.
Okay. Off limits. COVID, yeah.
All right. So one of my big questions, so I'm taking all the drug questions off.
Okay.
Right? One of the questions I have is, since COVID started, where were you in March 2020?
I was in upstate New York.
How did it affect you?
I was working. I worked in the beginning of COVID. It affected me. My mother-in-law passed away, and then my husband and I. They said COVID. She was in a nursing home where our governor allowed sick people to go to. Sick people, whatever.
But they labeled it COVID.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, COVID is a virus that will kill you. That's what they said. They want us to keep 6 feet away, wear a mask. How come homeless people weren't affected? Do you know if anyone was affected?
I don't. I know.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know anyone in in the community out here that was. I know people that think that they had COVID. I don't. I will never know for sure. Well, my belief is no, but because their test is. I mean, everything about it is just not. It doesn't make sense.
Right. So you're supposed to get COVID if you touch like a handrail. They were sanitizing the MTA.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The seats.
They were sanitizing the MTA because they hadn't, and because so many homeless people were living on the subway, and it's not just homeless people; it's mentally ill people, and they don't help them. They don't help them.
So if they got to the point where they're sanitizing the seats and the railings,
Yeah.
that means they think you can get it from touching.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, homeless people. All right, I'm going to be honest. They eat out of the garbage cans.
Not all of them. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right? They sleep in the street, and it doesn't appear to affect them. The other thing that I found, it sounds petty, but if I can transmit a virus to you by being closer than 6 feet, how come they never had a mandate for smokers? Because the smokers smoking, sucking smoke into your lungs, and blowing it back out on the street. People walk by. Can the virus be transmitted that way? But they
makes
no mandates,
yeah.
Right? So that was
Or the masks. That doesn't make sense that would keep you healthy. Masks make you. That's breathing in CO2. It's.
Tell me about when they cry you out. What is the procedure?
So they have to come. First, the police come and they take pictures, and then I don't know what I'm pretty. They take pictures with their phones, yeah, and then I'm pretty sure they take that to a judge, and a judge has to issue us a cleanup notice, and there's a date on the paper, and it basically states that sanitation and that the police will be there on that day, anytime. It can be anytime. It could be. They can come at 5 in the morning if they want. They can come at midnight, and that's. I've I know people who have had them do that to them to surprise them because they want us to throw away all of our stuff. They want us to be uncomfortable. So they put up the cleanup notice, and it's usually for like 2 or 3 days after. In the beginning, it's like a week after. You know, you have a week to prepare, but it gets shorter and shorter. So anything you can't carry, they will throw away.
All right, so they cleaned up this spot several times before.
Well, we make sure that we do it ourselves so that they have
So
nothing
you
to
did it
do.
before they came.
It happens about once a week. Yeah.
What's that like?
Well, first of all, it makes it a lot harder to get into the shelter because when these agencies, that's the other thing, when they bring sanitation, they have to have services for us. These agencies, when they make you a client, it's a process. You have to be seen 5 times in order to even be thought about to get into any of these places.
So you can't just walk in.
You can walk into the city shelters, yes, but most of the people out here that I know, there's these programs called Safe Havens. You have some of them, they vary in like in what they cater to, what needs they cater to, like mental health and stuff like that. So I'm approved for a single room. I don't have to have a roommate. I have PTSD and I have night terrors and I also have really bad asthma and I have really bad anxiety. And I had a bad experience at a city shelter once, well, more than once. So I'm approved for a single room. Some people are not approved for that and they'll have 1 or 2 roommates. You get a key to your room usually.
The procedure determines this?
Yeah.
Procedure you go through?
Yeah. And then after that, there has to be a bed available in that place. There's not, these places, even though they're all over, but there aren't a bunch of single room occupancy ones. So I'm limited to the ones that I can go to. So if they come and offer us services when they do the cleanup, but they don't have a bed for us, they're not really offering us services. They really just give us COVID tests and masks and shit. So they haven't. I've been trying to get into a safe haven for about 6 months. About 4 months ago, they came and told me that I was accepted and that they would be back tomorrow to pick me up to take me. They didn't show up.
4 months ago.
Yeah.
So where do you think the problem lies? Is it money? City funds? Can't be.
No. Yeah, I don't think it's about money.
I mean, if
Well, they do make a lot of money off of having us in those beds. They get paid for us, so
who pays it?
I'm not really sure.
All right. Have you ever heard of this organization, Global Citizen?
No.
Okay. Have you ever heard of the Robin Hood Foundation?
Mm-mm.
Do you know who that is?
No.
Do you know when they... Step back there. Do you know when they have big concerts in Central Park, the mega concerts?
Yeah.
That's Global Citizen.
Okay.
I'll just read to you what their mission is. Global Citizen is known to end poverty all over the world.
Oh, wow.
Robin Hood Foundation is specific to New York City.
Okay.
Just step back. Is a charitable organization that attempts to alleviate problems with poverty in New York City. Right? These are like $1 billion things.
Wow.
Robin Hood Foundation, these are the fuckers that I really want to address. You never heard of them.
No.
So they have mega concerts. They collect millions and millions of dollars to help homeless people. But you never heard of them.
No.
You never heard of Global Citizen.
Mm-mm.
I know they're frauds. I'm just, you would think
That they would be,
they
yeah.
would be out there. right?
Yeah.
You go to their website and they're asking for money and they're telling people they're solving all these problems. This is decades there in existence. What have they done? And I wrote them. I asked them, show me. All they tell me is go to our website. And when you go to their website, you see an interview with Juan.
Yeah.
Who's Juan? Or we help Juan come off the street. Where's Juan? Where do you put him? Where can I talk to him? Or you have to respect his privacy. So all the homeless people that I spoke to about them, they never heard of these people.
Yeah.
It's a fraud. So money is not a problem.
Yeah.
So if you had to solve the problem, what would you suggest? Where do you think this is failing?
I commented on the mental health, but it's not even just that. It's okay. Some people have never really lived in a home. Some people have been out here for a very long time and they've forgotten how to live. They don't know how to do the simple things that will keep them in an apartment. I'd say at least half of the people that I know out here have been placed in housing. They've had their own apartment. And one girl in particular, I'm not going to say her name, her apartment is condemned right now because it was so dirty and she didn't know how to live. And that's something that can be taught. Simple things like how to deal with people. I mean, how to, like, what the rules are in an apartment. You can't just, like, live in trash like you are on the corner. It's not acceptable, and then they end up back out here again and again and again. And then it gets worse, So
that problem is the individuals themselves.
I don't think it's the individuals themselves. I think it's New York failing them by just throwing them into a place and hiding them. Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, if you got a job to work for the city, say, hey, we want you to help us solve this problem. Because it is a problem, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to be there.
No.
Right? So what would you do? The shelters is not the answer.
No, the shelters aren't the answer. And I mean, the programs, the housing program, to me, the key to ending this is to change the cycle. And if you don't address the person and their issues, you're not changing anything. You're not helping. I think it's really, in the end, it's deterring them because it's, you know, if they lose their apartment because they were living in trash just the way they were living outside, they don't know any better. Like, you can't just tell someone not to do something that they've been doing for a very long time, because there's a reason that they do that, and it makes sense to them. And maybe if they asked or they tried to, like, find out, but they don't. All they do is, like the city shelters, you come in, you're a number, and you're treated like crap, like you're not a person, and that's not helping. I know that. Wow.
What are they afraid of? The rule is you cannot say anything that contradicts the CDC. And the CDC is the out there. Right now, you know what? Not accountability. They're asking for amnesty, like, we're sorry we misled people. They're admitting that they were wrong. And they're asking for amnesty. And yet, you too, if I ask you serious questions about stuff like that, boom, delete. Can't say shit. And right now, you know how it works, right?
Yeah.
I'm on my second strike.
Yeah.
So the third one,
yeah,
everything is gone. Even what I'm asking you now, I have to take it off.
Yeah.
So my take. I believe, this is my opinion, I believe they use the seasonal fruit, which kills people.
Yeah, every year.
Every year, kills people. They never made the news. I believe they're using the seasonal fruit as some new to control, shut down to
Yeah.
put on that.
Yeah.
And that's what I believe. What do you believe?
Pretty much the same thing, but I think that there's something deeper in there. And New World Order, one world government.
What is your personal experience that makes you believe? Like there are a lot of theories about 5G.
Yeah.
Right? But we have no proof.
Yeah.
My proof, my evidence is that I ride my bike around and I went to the hospitals in March, April, May, June, the peak months.
They weren't busy.
They weren't busy.
Yeah.
They were empty. Where were the people? And the excuse is, oh, you should go inside up into the ICU. How the fuck am I going to go up inside? If 800 people died at a hospital, there'd be something on the street.
Yeah.
If your parents were dying in that hospital, you'd be outside in your car, like looking up at the windows. Something is dead. Crickets.
Yeah.
Nothing. Bellevue, NYU, Langone. So what is your personal experience? That's my experience. Hospitals were empty.
My personal experience, I had 2 asthma attacks in the beginning of COVID, and I was in Orange County, New York, upstate, in Newburgh, at St. Luke's Hospital. And they were really concentrating more on giving me a COVID test than they were on my asthma. But there weren't that many people in the ER. Like, usually you get shuffled out pretty quick. I was there almost all day for nothing.
Visible signs of somebody crying, oh, my mother just died, right? Okay.
No.
I went to NYU Langone, Manhattan. I went to Mount Sinai, East and West. I went up to Jacoby up in the Bronx.
Yeah.
White Plains Hospital, they're all empty.
Yeah.
Empty. Nobody. I would talk to nurses coming out. Elmer's Hospitals in Queens, right? That was supposed to be a big one. They were partying at 7 o'clock. They were all partying. They were having like celebrations at 7 o'clock.
Okay.
So you were in the hospital and you didn't see anyone. So we still have the drug stuff. What would it take for you right now to be in a place that you want to be?
It would have to be in Manhattan because all of my services are in Manhattan, and it would have to be a single room, and preferably one where I know at least someone. My safety is important to me.
What news channel do you trust? Don't tell me CNN.
Wait, which news?
News, like you follow the news.
Oh, yeah.
What interests you as a person? Your personal interest. Are you following what is going on in the Ukraine?
I've followed it a little bit, but not too much.
That's not a big item for you.
No, the Jeffrey Epstein, Pizzagate, all that stuff, it's just something I don't understand. Why aren't more people worried? Why don't more people want to know? Like during COVID, there was a big thing about the Vatican and the Pope. That's another conspiracy theory. He wears, no, I'm not even gonna go there.
Just to let you know, do you know where Epstein's townhouse is?
Yeah, 71st.
Right. Do you know where the Pope's residence is? Right behind.
Shut the fuck up.
So you have, this is 72nd Street. This is 71st Street. Epstein is here. The Pope's residence is right here. So there's a courtyard. So this is 72nd, this is 71st. So you literally can,
Wow.
you know, Ralph Lauren.
Yeah.
He's right here. Bill Cosby is right here. You probably don't know Howard Lutnick. He's another fraud. Lives there. I think the guy who owns, I'm not sure about this, Victoria's Secret. He's here. I just threw that in.
It's a lot of bad people.
I try to steer away from conspiracy theories because I like to get evidence myself.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff about homeless people. They're trying to get rid of them. They're putting shit into
Yeah.
marijuana and stuff.
Yeah.
Right. All of a sudden, marijuana is like Tylenol.
Yeah.
Why? There's a conspiracy theory. It's like they're putting stuff. Right? But I like to stick with personal experience.
Yeah.
I'm staying away from the 5G theories. Talking about, I go to a hospital and I said, where are all the dead people? They had freezer trucks to put, they're empty.
Yeah.
Compressors are switched off. How could you have dead bodies inside there? When they have ice cream in the trucks, it's on constantly.
Yeah.
So if you have dead bodies,
Yeah.
put it in a parking lot with
Yeah.
compressors switched off. So I personally experienced that. Any other personal experience you could share? We're trying to solve problems here, right? It's not just to get.
No. I can't think of anything else.
Do you know how much money the U.S. sent to the Ukraine so far?
How much have we sent Russia? Wow.
Yeah, 64 million. And
It's not even helping them.
they keep asking for more. That's a big chunk of change. Right?
Yeah.
How about the NYPD? What is your relationship with them?
I don't
Do they mess with
I don't generalize. Some of them do. It's an individual basis. I don't look at cops as like, oh, NYPD's all bad, because they're not. I've had some of my best experiences and most human experiences with police officers, because I didn't think that it would be like that. But the last time we had a cleanup, my friend, my best friend, I stay with two girls, well, one girl and a couple guys. The police officer put his hands on her and ripped a suitcase out of her hand. He can't do that, you know. And it was sad. It was really sad that there were other police officers there. There were, you know, even the Department of Homeless Services was there. Nobody said anything.
And they saw it.
Yeah, everybody was standing around. I think his camera was on too, which is ridiculous. But they're gonna do what they want at the end of the day, because they're human.
All right, so I have issues with the NYPD. They're not bad people because they just want to get that paycheck.
Yeah.
But my concern is if they get orders to do things like arrest people for not wearing a mask, they wouldn't think twice.
Yeah.
They wouldn't say, yo, who's going? They would just follow orders because they don't want to.
Yeah.
And they have a cushy job, NYPD, very cushy job, and they don't want to jeopardize that.
Yeah.
All right, I think I took up too much of your time so far.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Again, nobody wants to talk, so I appreciate you talking to me.
No problem.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you again. Christian Lincoln.
It was really nice to meet you, Lincoln.
You too. I hope we see each other again.
spread the truth.
Thank you.